Hi, Deborah. My name's Ash Singh. I've been living for the last couple of years as a tax resident in Monaco. I'm looking to become a startup investor. Tell me what you're working on.
Okay, so thank you, Ash. Thanks for taking the time. It's a pleasure to meet you.
My pleasure. Yeah.
And I'm Débora. I'm co-founder of Wooda. It's a booking platform for co-living spaces focused on digital nomad and remote workers.
Okay.
So we are all feeling in the last years the changing of how we work and how we live, especially after the pandemic. And there is a movement of people looking for geographic and time freedom. These people look for flexibility to work, and often work while you're traveling. And more people are doing the same. So the co-living is the ideal accommodation because it's an evolution. It's like an evolution of the co-working, and there you can have a private room and share the kitchen, other common spaces, and with like-minded people that matters most to them. And our solution is a platform to specialized in co-living spaces. And our main value proposition is the matching functionality, so that the search results are more aligned to the user's needs, and giving them more satisfaction and doing. Yes, that's it. And efficiency, because they spend
Excellent.
much time to looking for their next accommodation, so it's more efficient.
Great. Deborah, what are you looking for? Tell me, are you looking for capital? What are you looking for?
We are looking to raise 400,000 euros.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like a bridge round. We open this bridge round before to open the rounds, the seed round. We want to get more, we need more traction, so we need to invest 70% in marketing and expand the market. So we need to invest this money to get more metrics, to get more numbers, and to have a growth, a bit grow before to open the other seed and raise more money.
Got it. Got it. Thank you very much for that. All right, let's get some feedback from the crowd. Let's chat about the Wooda platform. So, Deborah, what I'll do is I'll give you just some feedback from my perspective as an investor, right? What was going through my mind. When I wanted to know, are you guys, from a co-living perspective, are you going to be kind of like an Airbnb platform? Are you going to be the digital platform where if I have my own space, I can rent it out? Or are you going to build? Are you actually even looking to build places? Can you tell me where Wooda sits?
Okay, we are like the Airbnb.
Yeah.
But we do not work with individuals like
Yep.
Airbnb does. The co-living spaces are operating by companies, so it's companies, and we certified that companies to be able to upload their spaces on the website.
Okay, so these companies, like co-living spaces, because people know about like co-working spaces, right? So co-living spaces could be co-working spaces. Just so everyone else knows, it's usually operated by a company. It could be in a building, and you could have 50 rooms, and people can live there. They can sleep there at night, right? So
Yes,
a co-work, right? Just so everyone else knows what co-living is, right?
It's like a co-working where you can live. Yes.
Yes. And so what's happening is that, if I understand correctly, before COVID, there was a lot of people that were looking at the co-living space. But what's happened now is based on COVID, there's 30% of the entire workforce that has no interest in going back to the regular commute. And the world is now going to have an opportunity where if you can work remotely, you can like, work by yourself or with your family, and you can go live in France for 3 months, right? And then you can go to Spain for 3 months, and then you can come back to
Yes,
Canada,
that's it.
right? And that's
Yes,
kind of what you're suggesting in terms of the structure, right? Okay. Now,
yes.
tell me a bit about, so you have the platform component in place. Tell me about the interest. Tell me about the demand, because you started off with digital nomads. Okay. Now, digital nomads existed before COVID. And what's happened is there's more digital nomads, but there's also other people that are now looking to, there's other people that just don't have to work at the office anymore that could use your service too, correct?
Correct. Yes, it's like it's the remote workers. So we
Yeah.
are going to dividing this niche of people. So for one side we have the digital nomads, and on the other side the remote workers. They both don't want to work on site anymore, but it's different because the digital nomads can traveling while working all the time, and the remote worker just want to work from home or
Yeah.
spend a week in another city, or
Yes.
but they have it's a different profile.
Yeah. How big is this, Deborah? How big is this market now? Right. You probably know digital nomads, but the knowledge workers, because knowledge workers can work remote, and remote workers, right? Tell me about how big this market is.
Okay, we know that there are 35 million digital nomads around the world.
Okay.
We don't know about the remote workers, but we know it's increasing a lot. We can see around, but it's for now it's 35 million
Okay.
digital nomads.
And one question that was going through my mind, Deborah, is, what do you do that they can't do on Airbnb? Why does Airbnb not do this? Okay. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, they have a category of co-living spaces on their platform, but they are not specialized on that people. They just it's a different proposition. So we are going to offer to this niche especially a different solution. So with the co-living spaces, they can find a community. They need that community. They want to go to a place where they can find other people like them, and not just rent a room or a house in Airbnb. And then when they get there, they need to find a group. They need to find where is the people,
Yes.
to
Got it.
interact, to do networking.
Got it. Because part of what I'm thinking is like some of the digital nomads and some of the people that are working remotely also have higher level of security and data standards, correct? Does that make sense?
Yes,
Like the needs are different, right? Versus renting somebody's house. Like, there might be some sign security and elements that they need to have in
yes,
place, right?
it's another point. Yes, another point. Yes, they are
Yeah.
going to a place. It's a company. It's like a hotel, but it's not a hotel. It's like your house. Our
Yes.
tagline is where digital nomads find their home, because they need to feel like home, but
Yes.
they are moving every month. So
Yeah, because Airbnb kind of really works for kind of short stay, but this is for 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, maybe
yes,
even half a year, right? And so
right.
those needs are a little bit different, right? The
Yes,
visas. Are you helping with the visas as well? Does your platform do that or no?
we are aiming to do that. We want to be a complete platform that offer all kinds of services to their needs, not just a booking of co-living spaces. We want to give them the support to a visa, to other services they need in each country, in each city.
Okay,
So it's our big picture is to be a global,
understood.
a single platform
Yes.
to this niche.
Yes, powerful. All right. and you're looking for 400,000 euros, correct?
Correct. Yes. The plan is spend this money for all over this year, and then be able to open the seed round in next
So the way I think, is part of your pitch, we talked about why is it different from Airbnb. I think also this idea of long-term, medium to long-term stays globally, right? I also, was, from a profitability, like financials, how much does Airbnb make and how much more money are you guys going to do? Because this is kind of like corporate level. Do you know what I mean? You're going to have bigger deals. So I'm assuming you're also more profitable per customer than Airbnb is. Is that correct?
Yes. In theory, yes. But we need to, because we have this long-term stay for each client, so it should be like that. Yes. And we want to offer a matching to those people on the platform, a matching functionality. So we want to get this part of the Airbnb people, because most of the digital nomads never stayed in a co-living space. Sure. So it's an opportunity for us.
Absolutely.
To get this
and co-living space is awesome. Yeah, I've seen them. They're really good. So Débora, would you like me to pitch your idea back to you?
Sure, of course.
Okay. Right. So you get to be the investor now, and I will talk about Wooda and, what you're looking to do. And I'll talk a little bit about the different market segments, the opportunity, and hopefully the profitability. So you just introduce yourself, and then I will jump in and I'll pitch. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to try. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Ash. I'm Débora. I'm from I'm an investor. I'm an investor of the real estate sector, and I'm looking for an opportunity. And I'd love to hear about your project.
Great. Thank you, Débora. My name is Ash Singh, and I'm part of the Wooda team. As you might know, you've obviously heard about the digital nomads that are living in Lisbon and Portugal and in Spain and around Europe. There are 35 million of them, right? But during COVID, what we discovered is that there's a lot of people that now that COVID is almost over are also not going to go back to the regular commute and show up at office. In fact, we suspect it could be as high as 20 to 30% of the workforce in the remote and knowledge workforce around the world. And so what we've done at Wooda is we've discovered that it's not just about going on a vacation. You can actually live around the world in a convenient, safe, secure, compliant space around the world, whatever you want. And so we are creating the next generation social living platform for this market. And we've partnered up with co-living spaces around the region. And our hope is to provide this offering, which is going to be a step above Airbnb, because we're going to make sure that they're enabled to work there. We're going to provide all the support elements for them to be able to work in the right environment, from taxes and visas. And what that does is it creates a beautiful financial opportunity. As you know, we'll have people that are paying a premium for the real estate. They're going to spend 2 to 3 months on average, and it's going to be a lot more profitable than the Airbnb system currently. We're looking for 400,000 euros to get our next phase going. And we think the timing now is perfect because everyone right now is rethinking work. And when they rethink work, we want them to think Wooda. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
You. Are you recovering that, right? Because I'm going to memorize your pitch.
Well, you don't have to memorize it, but does that make sense? I was talking about the market, the big market, how they're rethinking and how the timing is perfect, right? An investor looks at team, execution, and timing, right? So I emphasized the timing component, right? I didn't go into your background because I know you and your team have a great background. Okay. but these are the things that I want to emphasize. And then how you plan to execute. You know how I talked about different regions? You know, you might start off with Lisbon, right? You know, co-working because people want to surf and have fun. You know, Spain and Portugal are great. I love, I just see this working. It's obvious, right? You know, IT support. You know how many companies have IT support? Wouldn't it be great if those IT support guys were surfing at nighttime in Lisbon, course, you know, instead of freezing their bums off in Toronto? Do you know what I mean? So that visual
for the company, yeah.
It could also be cheaper, which I didn't bring in, right? You know, for them to be able to do it. But the other thing around it is it comes down to employee satisfaction too, right? There was another element that I didn't bring in, but the Great Resignation, people changing their perspective on, you know, what's meaningful to me, right? Okay. And I just think it's going to be different. You know, back in the day, in the 60s and 70s and 80s, people would take March break and Christmas break to go and come back home and go work in a factory, right? That's kind of how the process, or work in an office. Now it's going to be different, right? Like it'll be, you know, I'm going to be in Puerto Rico for, you know, Las Vegas, and, you know, that's what my life is going to be like, right? And that's what I do all the time, right? And you guys are the ones that are going to make it a reality, right? I just get my Wooda passport, right? And I just can go from Singapore, like, you know, for me, you know, I had to buy places, right? Like I have a place in France and Singapore and Toronto, and I do that.
Yes,
but for you, it's much easier. You know, I just get my passport and I'm going to live in 10 countries this year. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
That's
you know, I just think it's beautiful. I mean, it just makes perfect sense, right? And it seems obvious, right? Why wouldn't some people want to do this, right? And even when you think about travel and you're connected in an, you know, people know that you're not going to discover a city by just visiting there for 3 weeks or 3 days, right? You got to live there for a while, right? You know this, right? In Madrid, you got to hang out with the locals. You got to get into the local element. Otherwise, you're staying at the same Marriott hotel. Everything looks the same, right? When I travel for work, everything looks the same, right? The food is the same. And so I feel
feel the different cultures. It's different. It's not just traveling.
Yes, absolutely. So, love what you're doing, Débora. Thank you for sharing, and look forward to your success. So thank you for your time, right?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. My pleasure.